Hey guys, this is a C0 budget Hu Tao team build on floor 12 Spiral Abyss. I did a 9-star run here, and I did make a lot of mistakes in this video, but it doesn't matter because with this comp, she's just so powerful that you can get away with a few mistakes. And honestly, this is just to show how an average player would probably play Hu Tao and the damage they should expect. Nothing in whale, just C0 Hu Tao, few mistakes, but overall a good run. Anyways, let's start with talking about her supports. Her best support is definitely Xingqiu. C0 or C6, he is undoubtedly the best support. His blades on his ultimate, they just vaporize with her auto attacks, and they also match the timing of her her charge attacks. So when you're charge attacking, it just lets you vaporize really easily. And of course, Hu Tao's charge attacks are the strongest part of her kit. Next, we have Bennett. Bennett's kind of obvious. He gives free damage, and his ultimate also gives healing. And the reason why Bennett's special is because his ultimate does not go, it does not heal you past 70% HP, and with Hu Tao, you want to stay, of course, above a certain threshold of health to get the maximum damage with her passive. Next is Kaya. I think Kaya's the same situation as Xingqiu. It's just free procs, and the thing about Kaya though is his ult is not always up, which is why I think even if you have like multiple constellations on Kaya, you should still just use like even C0 Xingqiu over Kaya. Next is Mona. Mona's kind of obvious. You get her E procs Hydro pretty frequently, and her Q lets you do some big Q damage with Hu Tao. Venti Zhongli I think is also kind of obvious. Venti just groups things and decreases resistance. Zhongli gives you a shield, decreases resistance, and petrify. Now we go into like the great tier, and we start with Zhongling. I think Zhongling's kind of weird because C1 and C6 gives pyro damage, so you'd think she'd be really optimal. But the problem with Zhongling is that if you have like a elemental reaction support like Kaya or Xingqiu, what happens is when you're trying to Q with Hu Tao, your Vaporize gets taken away because what's happening is Zhangling's Guoba or Pyronado will take away the element from the enemy and just proc Vaporize with her own abilities instead of Hu Tao's Qing procking with it, which it's kind of disruptive, but I think if you play around it correctly, she can be optimal. Next is Ganyu. I think Ganyu C1 is better than Kaya as a support, but I think her only problem is she's too reliant on her ultimate to help Hu Tao. And not even that, but she's probably just better as a DPS than a support, even for Hu Tao. So I think, unless I have C1 Ganyu, I'd probably just stick to her as another DPS for a second team on Spiral Abyss, maybe. Next is Diona. I think Diona is very similar to Chi-Chi, but the reason why she's better is because her healing is conditional. She can only heal when she has ultimate, and you don't want to be healing that much in Hu Tao in the first place. So her E procs melt pretty often, and it gives a shield too. And you do not heal too much with your Q, because you can only heal if you press Q, so you can choose to heal or not. Same concept with Jean, you can only heal if you have Q up, so she's a good support in general, with Noblesse Oblige as well. You're not forced to heal, that's what I'm trying to say right now, because if you use your E on like Barbara or Chi-Chi, you're forced to heal Hu Tao, which is not what you want. Sucrose is like Venti, but just worse. Albedo's free damage. Child has a good playstyle where you Hu Tao E, do your normal stuff, and then change to Child, and then use Child E. And what happens is you cycle E's because they both need their E cooldown to be up for them to utilize their maximum potential. Next is Fischl. The reason why Fischl's kind of low is because Overload's not a good reaction, and I'd rather just go Albedo over Fischl. Barba, Chi-Chi, they heal you, and when their E's are up, which is kind of disruptive of what you want to do on Hu Tao. Chang'e doesn't proc melt enough in my opinion, and kind of a pain in the ass to use. I think Klee needs constellations for it to really work as a support, so I put her that low. Everyone else I really would not use. And that's really it. And just a small note on Xingqiu, I'm using Favonius Sword on him, but I think you should use Sac Sword on him. Anyways, for the most part, you can really run anything as support on her, as long as they proc, melt, or vaporize, or just some reaction other than like overload, right? And it's really just important to note that you're going to be really charge attack reliant on her, right? So you're going to be somewhat squishy. So shielding characters tend to be better, I feel like, than characters who heal. So like Zhongli would be like really strong. And if you are going to heal, make sure the healing is conditional and that you can't just heal with like your elemental skill, right? So Barbara, Chi-Chi, off the table, don't use them over someone like Bennett or Jean. And these builds, as you can see, these artifacts are not that, like, I do not build my supports that well. But as long as your Hu Tao is built, and honestly, like, if you have a Xingqiu, you should build Xingqiu. Honestly, if your Hu Tao is built fine, it should not matter what your supports build as much. So yeah, you can see they're not like maxed out artifacts, except for Xingqiu. Xingqiu is maxed out, but That's really it. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you guys next time.